I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, he's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out.
He's steaming mad.
He is out.
Swung, fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship.
Auburn going after it. Here's a good snap. It is blocked. It is blocked. It's caught on the run. It's caught on the run. He's going to score. David Wagner has scored. And Auburn is tied the game.
It's good! It's good!
It's good.
It's good!
It's good.
It's good!
Van Tippen has won the ball game.
Alabama has beaten Auburn!
I'd like for the people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
Going on? Welcome in, everybody, to the Total Chad Sports Podcast. We're at number 61 on the list, and we greatly appreciate everyone being here. And we're ready for another wonderful week of sports as we get ready to kick off the NFL season. We got a lot of great matchups on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I believe, and Sunday. I don't think there's anything on Saturday, but I could be wrong. But anyway, we always try to make corrections throughout the show. If not, we've got people here in the chat that are always constantly making corrections in the show. So that's the reason why you're here. That's the reason why we love you, and we greatly appreciate the support throughout the YouTube, Twitch, all them channels. Oh my God. Okay, he's out. He's out with the hideous jersey. Yep. Sorry, Yorkie. We do agree on fuck the Phillies, because fuck the Phillies, because once again, the Braves lose 3 out of 4. In some stupid fashion. Castellanos, walk-offer. So tired of the Phillies. Because here's the thing. If the Phillies had any of their star players injuries like the Braves would, they would be in the middle of the NL East. Can we just say that? They would be behind the Mets, okay? They wouldn't be a game up in the wild card against the Mets, all right? They would be behind the Mets and give the Mets a friggin' way into the playoffs, okay? At least the Braves are finding what they can and scrapping all that they can find and trying to continue to what they do. They just re-signed Tyler Matzek, who they gave away to the Giants, okay? And granted, it may not be the best fit. He may not have been ready to pitch for the Braves, or he may not have been ready. Really, he wasn't ready to pitch for the Giants. But it always seems like AA has like this magical power. Like he's like some wizard, like Gandalf, not so much Saruman, but definitely Gandalf, where he can literally mold these players that he grabs from other teams and then turns them into studs. Ramon Laureano kind of fallen off a little bit in these last couple of days. Whit Merrifield as well. But just two players that have had ridiculous streaks, all right, as players who thought Whit Merrifield, who wasn't supposed to be a Philly, look what he was doing against the Phillies. But it is what it is. He's a playoff wizard for sure. The only problem is Soler needs to hit. He doesn't need to stand there and watch the ball go right past him. All right? Money Mike hit a home run last night. They lost 3-2. I mean, what can you do outside of what they were already doing? I mean, like, I don't understand why the Braves keep doing this. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can beat the Phillies. There's no reason. In the last 2 games, you've only had 2 runs. They could put up 3 and win the game. All right, this is a regular NL. This is a regular NL matchup before the DH even became into the thing, got into the fold of the MLB. There's no excuse for the Atlanta Braves to sit here and lose to the bum-ass Phillies. I know it was Aaron Nola versus Schwellenbach, but still, there's no excuse for this crap. Aaron Bummer held the loss again. I'm getting tired of watching that dude. But it is what it is. Right now, the Braves still sit on top of that final wild card spot. 1 game ahead of the Mets. Getting really sick and tired of this crap. Because they were a game and a half behind the Padres. All right? The Diamondbacks, they got a great lineup. And then they're going to get their pitching's getting healthy. They're probably going to keep that wild card spot. But the Padres, all of a sudden getting healthy with Xander Bogaerts and everybody and blah, 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 blah. They were a game and a half 2 days ago. Now they're back up to 3 games again. It's so stupid. It just pisses me off. I think the Braves are off today, so great. They can't lose a game. Play tomorrow at home against the Rockies. If you can't beat the piss-poor Rockies, who are not the worst team in baseball, surprisingly enough, the Chicago White Sox are, but you can't beat the second worst team in the MLB, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs. They do. They like to fuck with my emotions. I hate when the Braves are like this. They still have great pitching. It's the back end that screws it all up. Even with the lineup that they have, all right, you still should be getting some success out of that. There's no excuse for it. That's the reason why they went after all these players. Sean Murphy needs to hit. We need to have d'Arnaud hitting. Matt Olson's finally hitting. You can't have Big Bear do everything. I mean, show a little bit of fight. A little bit of fight. And everyone that always constantly dogs Snit for like what he does, like pitching wise, putting certain guys in, not taking certain guys out, all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't matter. They're still winning at the time he's taking these guys out. And then when he's putting guys in there, he has confidence to put these guys in there. Grant Holmes probably wasn't thinking about being in there big time, wild card type feel, or playoff type feel, trying to beat the Phillies. He probably wasn't feeling that. He's a young guy, probably at the beginning of the year, probably didn't even expect to be in that game. That's the reason why you paid Aaron Bummer to come over here. He's been a real bum lately. Are we too afraid to throw in a Horacio Iglesias, who hasn't even given up a run in forever? Joe Jimenez, who day to day is always like a world beater, and then he's literally just awful to watch. Exactly. There's a lot of sports that we feel like that we're the experts of. We're just like, man, that guy sucks. They've won 6 out of their last 4. They've only lost 2 in a row. Yeah, granted, it's the Phillies. The Phillies are playing great. But I guarantee, I'll say this wild take, but it's not. If the Phillies had any remote, if Bryce Harper was out, Castellanos was out, Kyle Schwarber was out, they would suck. They would suck worse than the Braves. They don't have the depth like the Braves have been finding. The Braves still have a 61-plus run differential. Still one of the best out of the teams that are still in the hunt. You go look at all the teams that are up right now. That's the reason why the Phillies are, because their offense. It's not because of their pitching. Go look at the Dodgers right now. The Dodgers are at plus 112, okay? The Dodgers, they've used like 17 different pitchers. How many have the Braves used? 11, 12, 13, something like that? They're still finding ways to win ball games. But as soon as their lineup goes to shit, I guarantee you the Dodgers be right there with everybody else. 6 of their last 10. I said 6-4 in their last 10. I think that's what I said. If I didn't say that, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. It's like when I said that yesterday. By the way, I got called out for typing up something, which granted, it's a supporter of the show, which I'm okay with. I got called out for giving up all these stats or whatever of how many points scored and against for the SEC and the Power 4 conferences. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But I said the only 2 losses in the SEC were Texas A&M and LSU. Some Nostradamus type shit right there. I guess I thought that the LSU was going to lose that game. Which, granted, watching that game, I don't believe in this whole nonsense that Nussmeier is this great quarterback, by the way. I'm still on the fence about USC and Lincoln Riley. They beat a LSU's going to play great in the SEC. Watch. LSU will play great in the SEC. Texas A&M will play great in the SEC. Florida will find their way. Unless Florida just becomes a dumpster fire and they're one of the worst teams in the SEC. But I'll say what it is. I thought LSU was going to lose that game. Be honestly did not think LSU was going to win that game. I didn't bet on it because, by the way, 7-7 now. I'll throw it out there. I'm 7-7 now because I decided to pick all these stupid Saturday games of better matchups. Thanks, West Virginia. Thanks, Clemson. Which Clemson, by the way, shit on Clemson all you want, but they'll probably still end up winning the ACC. The ACC is dog water. Because if you really think that Miami is one of the best teams in the ACC, cool. They are, okay? There are people out here telling Va Tech being the damn ACC winner, okay? They just got their ass stomped didn't stomp, but lose in the waning seconds in overtime against Vandy. And Vandy apparently has an offense now. Diego Pava, dude's a stud apparently, does everything. And you're right. You are totally right. Insane. Just to sit there and watch that type of crap. So back to baseball. We'll finish that up. We'll talk about some of the matchups around college from the weekend and where we lost, what we did wrong, where we lost it, all that type of stuff. We'll hit up mostly around the SEC. Might get into some Big Ten. Don't really care about the ACC and Big 12 because those conferences are ass. We don't want to talk about those conferences. We don't care about those conferences. No point to talk about those conferences until they actually really do something. Until they're actually really worth a damn to talk about. Trying to see all this crap. Seemed like Alabama and Auburn, though, over the weekend, they were just trying to see who could score the most points against a really bad opponent. Now, granted, Western Kentucky could probably beat Alabama A&M by 2 or 3 touchdowns, but they're a Power 4. Whatever. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Still got BC and FSU tonight. Should be a great Monday night college football matchup on a Labor Day weekend. By the way, I hope everyone's enjoying their Labor Day weekend if you're watching from work or if you're home. I'm sorry you have to work. I'm off today. I get holiday pay. That's the one positive about this job. Allows me to do a podcast too and allows me to get paid to do nothing. I almost had to work today, but they called it off. As you were up like late all night on Kick. By the way, hit up Yorkie on Kick. I mean, I was trying to go to bed. I watched you for a little while till I really passed out. Then I woke up without my alarm, so it's 8 o'clock. Then I went to go try to see if I could get my car fixed. Because once again, Hyundai, one of the worst cars ever made. Check engine light comes on less than a week later after they, quote, fixed it again. I'm trying to get my money, baby. That was a typical weekend stream for me. That's true. I did that Saturday night. And played some Sea of Thieves with Head of Steel. And then I stayed up for a little bit longer, which I don't know why. I was tired. I was tired playing that game. Like one of those ones you just get so tired. You know. I'm not gonna try to go super long today either, because I told my parents I'd be up there at their house, and that's in less than an hour. So we're gonna get one kind of in that we can talk about. All right, back to the wild card talk. Braves still 1 up on that final spot, 3 games back on the Padres and Diamondbacks. Of course, the Dodgers are winning, leading the West. Phillies are leading the East, and the Brewers are leading the Central. If I look at any of these teams, the only team that's really making any kind of progress is the Mets. But the Mets will be the Mets. Like I said, the Braves got a sweep. They only like 24, 25-something games left in the MLB season. You got to win out. You got to win out. You got to sweep the Colorado Rockies, who are the worst team in baseball. Second to worst team in baseball. Because the White Sox, once again, who said it? Me. Their White Sox are so boring to watch and annoying to watch. I think when Tim Anderson, I just was not a big fan of him. I'm so tired of hearing about the White Sox. They're bad. They're awful. The Central is awful in general. The Brewers are not going to win in the playoffs. They might make it past whoever they got to play before they play the big boys. But I'm sorry. I just don't believe in the Brewers. Not with the way, maybe with the way that the pitching's kind of fallen off for the Dodgers. But pitching staff, lineup, the Phillies are going to be hard to beat in the East. Going on to the West, still got the Yankees leading by half a game against the Orioles. I think that's a game. The Orioles just need to win. Because the Yankees, I think they lost yesterday, pulled within a 1. Orioles won. Guardians still sitting there. I don't believe in the Guardians. Once again, I don't believe in either Central. Prove me wrong. The Astros could still come out here and win that whole thing. The Minnesota Twins, who the Braves beat up like a redheaded stepchild. I don't condone beating your children. But they need to be disciplined from time to time. Need to be told, Minnesota Twins, who's a real team in baseball. Not you. The Royals, though. How about that? How about the Royals sneaking in, getting in there, being right up there? That's how bad the AL is. Look at the bottom half. The Red Sox, ass. Still got a great record, though. Detroit, ass. Seattle Mariners, ass. Don't believe in them. Don't believe in them. The Detroit Tigers 8-2 in the last. They could make a surge. They're 5 games, though. They'd have to win out. Win a lot of their games to win out. Don't find it. Won't see it. Won't happen. Don't believe in it. Another thing that's in baseball news, how about Caden Dana from the Rocket City Trash Pandas making his first career start? Youngest player in franchise history to win in his debut, 20 years old. Dude went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and 4 Ks. Not too shabby as the Orioles. As the Angels went on to win. They're on the bottom half of the West. They're not going to do anything. They're really second to last in the AL. Because who's worse? White Sox are worse. So congrats to Caden Dana, man. That dude is a stud. Yeah. Right? Him and Al Jagari got called up. I mean, he's been playing all year, and I get it. People are busy. When you have 138 innings pitched and you have 147 strikeouts, you're pretty damn good. I think they were waiting for him, though. You know what I mean? They were just kind of waiting. Because I don't know why they called up Kohanowitz and not him. I think Kohanowitz is older, maybe. But I didn't think Kohanowitz. I think Kohanowitz isn't much. He was starting for the Trash Pandas. But I think they threw him in, relief. I don't know if they started him for real. I don't know. I don't pay attention too much to the Angels. But Caden Dana, starter, 20 years old, dude, stud. Young stud. Just keep it up. Just waiting for Christian Moore to get called up. They don't need another bat. That's true. Well, that was right when I got canned. So, realistically, I could have probably had you some tickets by then. But then they took them all away and didn't give them away to anybody. Because I was the only one doing that. So, I still have a pass. I could probably give you my pass. You could probably walk in. You don't look like anything like me. There's only 1 week left. I'm going to try to go Wednesday night. I don't know what the specials are. I think I went over them last time. I don't have the thing in front of me. So, that's crazy. Youngest player to win his MLB debut. Went 6 innings, 2 hits, like I said. 2 earned runs. Gave up a home run, one of them. 4 walks and 4 Ks. So adding on to his K stat, probably had some pregame jitters. Big time MLB pitcher now. 4 walks. But they were able to get the win for him. So congrats to Caden Dana and everything he's been able to do. Because Caden Dana is an absolute stud. So we look around the standings of the Southern League. The Trash Pandas aren't even going to make it. They got to play the Tennessee Smokies to finish out their home series. No, I'm sorry, Biloxi. I thought it was Tennessee. I thought I saw it. They're playing Biloxi at home. They're playing a doubleheader starting tomorrow, 4:05 first pitch. Then they got to play the Lookouts. I don't see it happening for them. You go look at these standings, they're the second to worst team in the Southern League. Really, I mean, they're 1 game away from being the worst team if they lose out to Chattanooga. Go look at the bottom half. This is the reason why I don't really like how people make the playoffs in the Southern League. Because, like, the bottom half is more competitive. The Southern League is more competitive than the Northern Southern League. You got Tennessee running away with it per usual. All right? Rocket City had a chance to be right there if they could just win some ball games. I mean, they have lost, and I'll get this right this time. They have lost the last 4. No, I'm sorry, the last 8. They've only won 4 games. They're 4-8 in their last 12. Okay? 4-8 in their last 12. It's like they have great pitching. Can't score runs. They got a win last night. Thank you, baby Jesus. They just can't figure it out. They're 3-7 in their last. No, I think it was 3-7 in their last 10, but I think they're, if you go look at like the last 12, they're like 4-8 or whatever. How's that make sense? I think that makes sense. And I think they're like 4-8. Let me go look back and look. Look at this. We're gonna look at this together. They won yesterday, right? So 1-1. Okay, let's go back to Montgomery. 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, 2-4, 2-5, 2-6, 2-7, 2-8, 3-8, 4-8. Is that other win? 4-8. 4-8 their last 12. 4-7 in their last 11. 3-7 in their last 10. Even worse. They just gotta find ways to win. I had ESPN up because I was trying to find some more scores, but I was really just gonna talk about the recap of the weekend. Oh, and like when we get into that, we'll talk about that too. So I don't think they have a chance. I don't think they're gonna make a run. They're only like 3.5 back from Birmingham if they could win out, and Birmingham just suck. This is why the bottom half is so much more competitive in the Southern League than it is in the Northern League, the Northern Southern League. It's because I don't think Biloxi's going to want to give up a half a game on Mississippi. Okay? And Biloxi's got to play the Trash Pandas at home. So they got to win on the road. They got to win out. They want to make the playoffs. I don't know if they won the first half or not. They take the top two teams. So I don't even know if they'll really make it. I don't even know if they made it in the first half. What was this first half? You had Birmingham win it in the first half, so Birmingham has a spot, and Montgomery's still sitting on top. So we shall see what the bottom two teams will be in the second half. Not the bottom two teams, but the second two teams. Birmingham at least has a shot because they're the first half winner. But more than likely, it's probably going to be Tennessee, Birmingham, Montgomery, and Biloxi, and it really hasn't changed. It really hasn't changed much other than Pensacola. Biloxi, though, bottom half, first half, making that comeback, making that surge. Because overall, you got Tennessee, Birmingham, of course, Montgomery, Pensacola, overall. This is overall. So this is everything. But it's weird how they have like second half, first half winners and all that kind of stuff. Realistically, Pensacola can. It'll probably be, if anything, it'll be Tennessee, Birmingham, Montgomery, Pensacola. Depending on what Biloxi can do in the second half. More than likely, it's probably not gonna work out for them. In other news, before we get into some college football, not yet. We're about to get into college football and preview. We didn't really preview the NFL weekend, so we'll probably preview a little bit of that too. We're talking about some football. Of course, HCFC finally loses a game after winning 3 in a row under Chris O'Neill, new manager of HCFC. They lose 2-1 to Orlando on the road. They're coming back home. They got to play Miami CF2 at Wicks Family Field at Joe Davis Stadium, September 8th, 6 p.m. But reminder, Wednesday, if you're here locally, reminder, Wednesday. Still got tickets. Still got time to buy tickets. $25, I think they are, for general admission. Wednesday, September 4th at 7 p.m., they're playing the big club, Nashville SC. So all these soccer fans going to come out the woodwork. All these Nashville fans going to come out the woodwork and support HCFC against their big club in the Space Cowboy match. Okay. I guess that's something that the fans of Nashville do or something. I don't know. HCFC has scored in 6 straight matches. Chris Applewhite got his first assist on the season. Johnny Bolaños started his 20th straight captain appearance. He started every single match of the season. Johnny Bolaños, if you're listening, you're a great player, man. You are one of the best players in HCFC history, even though it's a short, small history. Dude's really nice to the fans. Dude carries himself really well in the games. He's really nice to the media. Spot on guy. Him and Ollie Wright, spot on guy. And I love Ollie Wright's fire. If I was a coach, if I was a manager, I'd have Ollie Wright as a vet every single time. He lights a fire under your ass. You know what I mean? Julian Gaines scored his first goal of the season. And that's all she wrote. Weren't able to get 4 in a row. That's okay. They're also the 4th worst team in the MLS Next Pro. So they're not winning anything. They're not going anywhere. Orlando City, by the way, last year beat them 5-0 when HCFC needed a win. And to play them to a 2-1 game when Orlando City FC is kind of sitting right there in the middle, maybe not making the playoffs, maybe they will. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a loss, but it's pretty good. I'd rather lose 2-1 in soccer than 5-0. Especially when all you had to do was win 2 games and you would have made the playoffs last year. So this fall off, having 3 head coaches or 3 managers in the last year and a half or half a year. I mean, say what you want about this young club. They're a young club. But it's also MLS Next Pro Soccer, so I don't know how much they're professionals. They are, quote, professionals. But when you're asking some guys to come play for the parent club, you got young guys who are not really together. You're not have like a full squad. I remember watched the beginning of the season in person. A lot of this club wasn't even really together. You have guys that come up and make appearances, do really well, then get served to go play for the parent club. So I don't know, like, what you want to say about this team other than they have some fight. They're fun to watch. They're entertaining. But they need to win ball games. They need to win soccer matches. They need to win on the pitch. They need to win at home. You have the best fans in the MLS Next Pro. You can exaggerate and lie about how many people are there, pre-ticket sales, all that kind of thing. Granted, I was there one night. They said they had over 4,000 people there. I swear to God, there was probably no more than 2. But you got the greatest fans. You got the best home atmosphere. Every person that goes to your club and plays your club at home, talk about how great the fan base is and how great just the environment is. Once they build, they're supposed to build some hotels and shops and everything like that. It's going to have more of like a downtown type of feel, kind of like a Battery feel of the Braves. So that'll be a lot of fun for that club too. Just make it fun, make it original, make it cool. Ridiculous. All right, enough of that. No more soccer talk. We're in football land now. We got NFL this week. We got to recap a lot of these games. We're not going to recap them. We're just going to go down them real quick. Because we're going to talk about the scores and everything, too. Missouri, big win over Murray State on Thursday. Arkansas, a huge win over Arkansas. Pine Bluff on Thursday, 70-0. This Taylon Green kid from Boise State might be the real deal. Take it for what you want. Arkansas played a really piss-poor HBCU team. Missouri's playing Murray State. All right, everybody's playing a real cupcake for their first week. Alabama, 63-0 over Western Kentucky. We'll get into that more later. Georgia beating the shit out of Clemson. Clemson's good in the ACC. Georgia's going to do this to a lot of teams. All right? Don't be talking trash about Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney's one of the only 2 coaches that has like multiple national titles. And I'm talking about national titles in the last decade, okay? There's so many teams out here that would love to be where Clemson's at right now. And keep talking all that trash about Miami and how great they are. They beat a awful Florida team. Everyone wants to love on Cam Ward and what Miami. They can't even play in their own stadium. They got to play in the Dolphins stadium. So they had to play in a stadium that was one of the HBCU classics that nobody watched other than the halftime show. Texas didn't. Early on, yeah, it was a 31-0 lead at halftime. But Colorado had a little bit of fight going into that second quarter. Granted, going into halftime, not so much. Notre Dame is absolute ass garbage. All I hear is criticize. Don't ask me or mine for nothing. Ole Miss beat the hell out of Furman, 76-0. Notre Dame squeaked out a win against the Texas A&M team that honestly, like I said before, a lot of these teams, Texas A&M, LSU, they're going to play really well within the SEC. Maybe not so much Florida. So take it for what you want. Notre Dame won a kickoff classic. It's a non-conference game. I don't think Notre Dame is a playoff team, but that's me. That because they're independent, they can do whatever they want. If they can win out their schedule, maybe they're a playoff team. Well, they are a playoff team if they win out their schedule. I find it hard to believe that they're a playoff team. Just like people saying that LSU's a playoff team. You should have everything taken away from you to say that LSU's a playoff team after watching that. But go watch them the very next week make it a game against like whoever, you know what I mean, within the SEC. Yeah. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. The fact that they're 7th is laughable. They'll go get smoked around by Tulane. Love you, Coach Summerall. Which, by the way, could Coach Summerall be the next head coach at Florida? If he wins out and does a really good first year at Tulane, makes him a playoff team? Would he leave another team to go to another team? I don't think so. But I would love to see him, like, take over Ole Miss, take over Ole Miss, take over Kentucky. We've talked about this before. This is like the John Summerall podcast. We're like the big fan club. Went to my alma mater high school. Dude's a stud coach. Gets guys playing. Gets guys jazzed up, ready to go. Gets them ready to play. One of the best young coaches in college football, in my opinion. Tennessee beats the crap out of Chattanooga in the Mocs, 69-3. Miami beat Florida 41-17. Vandy over here beating the ACC contender right here in Va Tech 34-27 in overtime. South Carolina squeaks by Old Dominion, and I already said this. South Carolina is probably one of the worst. If it's not Vandy, South Carolina might be the worst team in the SEC. Mississippi State over here throwing some offense around. This Chapin kid looks pretty good. Granted, it was Eastern Kentucky, winning 56-7. Then Auburn wins by 70, 73-70. Dandy Vandy. What up, Dirty Birds? He came in here because I was wearing the jersey. That's why he's in here. Got this from my brother. He says I don't ever wear anything that he buys me. But that was a lie. Kentucky beat Southern Miss 31-0 in a game that got shortened in the third quarter. That got ended in the third quarter. Not shortened, got ended in the third quarter because there was a bunch of weather delays and a bunch of weather problems. The game took like all day to play. So Southern Miss said, "No, we good. We good." They were like, "We good. We out. Thanks for the money. We out. We only played 3 quarters. We out." But how about this Auburn game? I love Alabama A&M. I do. But they're bad. Another HBCU that just got paid to go get smacked around by a big club. How about their game? No, they didn't get a running clock. I know people that called me out on Facebook. It was a joke. I know that they didn't get a running clock. LSU is not a top 15 team, by the way. No, they're not. USC isn't really in the top 25 either, in my opinion. I just can't stand Lincoln Riley, and I just can't stand USC in general. But how about this Auburn-Alabama A&M game? Got shortened to 10 minutes. They put 10 minutes on the clock. That's high school ball. Not college. That's high school ball. 10 minutes on the clock in the second half. Instead of a running clock because you were already down. What was it? 53 or 52 to nothing? At halftime? Yeah, it did. They got a new defensive coordinator. Don't get me wrong. Yes, he's ruffling feathers. He's a Saints fan, by the way. Yeah, Idaho. Go Vandals, baby. You a big Idaho fan? You're talking about that Oregon? You know, and everyone's like, "Oh, look at Dylan Gabriel. He threw for 3 touchdowns." They won, what, 24-14 against Idaho? Like, what? Like, the Big Ten is going to be ass this year, man. The only team that's worth a damn is Ohio State, and, like, they barely beat Akron. I know. All that offense. You got to... Here's the thing. Oregon's going to go play the Rutgers or something like that in, like, November. Okay, I don't know what their schedule is. But they're gonna go play Penn State or somebody in the cold and get their ass stomped. Penn State and Ohio State are probably the best two teams, once again, in the Big Ten. I don't know so much about Michigan. We'll see how they do the rest of the season. But that Michigan was struggling early on, so it's first game jitters. Say what you want. There was a lot of offense from the SEC, but they also were playing nobody. Brothers Beans is great. Appreciate you being here. Michigan's garbage. Central Michigan could probably beat Michigan. Dude, and I love, by the way, I love Stat Broadcast. Ever since I ever found out about it, covering games and stuff like that, you can get all the updates. You can get all the stats. You can get all the, like, live. If you're not watching the game, you can get all the live stats right in front of you. But, I mean, Auburn and Alabama were over here just playing for whoever could score the most. Hell yeah, Maction, baby. We talking Maction in here. You're going to get that Central Michigan prediction next week, or this week. Peyton Thorne went 13-21, 322 yards, 4 touchdowns. Hank Brown had 2 touchdowns, 96 yards. Jacquez Hunter had, Auburn averaged like 9.8 a carry. Now, granted, when you have 1 rush for 24 yards, you got 4 rushes for 53. You're only really rushing it a few times because you're throwing it all over the place. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different wide receivers had a touchdown in that game. Keandre Lambert-Smith, he had 3 receptions for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged about 26. Perry Thompson, the freshman. Malcolm Simmons, the freshman. He had 3 receptions. He had a touchdown. Perry Thompson had 2 receptions and a touchdown. Cam Coleman had a touchdown. Auburn's really good offensively. A lot of turnover. I mean, not a lot of turnovers, but a lot of penalties, a lot of problems on the defensive side of the ball. But to only give up 242 total yards, 38 on the ground, and 204, you're playing a really bad HBCU down the street that's just really not good. They might be in the bottom of their own conference. But they put up 628 total yards, 451 in the air, 177 on the ground. I mean, Auburn went out and beat the crap out of everybody. They just went out, and that's the reason why they won a running clock in the second half. No, it wasn't a running clock, Chad. Shut up. 10 minutes put on the clock for both quarters in the second half. Alabama over here put up 600 total yards, 266 passing, and 334 rushing against former LSU, Auburn, Texas State, TJ Finley. Wasn't he to Texas State? Now at Western Kentucky. I don't think he was at Texas State. But LSU, Auburn, former quarterback of those teams. They made Western Kentucky look pretty bad. Defense looked electric, looked friggin' out of this blue, looked really good. How about Ryan Williams, the freshman? Alabama got another guy. All over here looking like Randy Moss. 2 receptions for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's his first 2 catches in college. And he averaged 69.5 catches. Yards, catches. Kobe Prentice, another young guy. 3 receptions, 43 yards. You had Kendrick Law on that really nice, on his 1 catch for 22 yards. Realistically, I mean, Jalen Milroe did Jalen Milroe things where he held onto the ball too long. His offensive line's better, but he held onto the ball too long. But he was able to get it to to Kendrick Law, who literally, Kendrick Law, if anyone drafts him, I mean, they will. But when they draft Kendrick Law, dude, that guy's going to be a returner. That guy's going to be a slot guy. That dude's so fast. At 17 years old. 17 years old. Talk about young guys. Caden Dana, 20 years old, recording his ever debut win for an MLB player and the Angels. 20 years old, gets a friggin' win. Ryan Williams, 17 years old. Dude should be eating lunch. I should be security in this guy. Watching over his lunch. Making sure he's okay in high school. All right? He's 17 years old over here playing big boy college football. Wide open, too, on the first touchdown he had. Granted, it was probably some kind of bad break. That was probably something bad by the defense. But Jalen Milroe had 5 touchdowns in that game. He had 200 yards in the air. He had 79 on the ground, 2 tutties, 3 touchdowns in the air. Waving like he just don't care. Because he's tired of y'all talking trash about him. He's the third best quarterback in the SEC. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, he might be. He might be second best. Might be one of the best. It's probably really hard to vote on that kind of stuff. All team SEC, all that kind of stuff. Justice Haynes, 4 attempts for 102 yards. Averaged 25 a carry for a touchdown. Jalen Milroe, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Jam Miller, 1 touchdown. Averaged 10 a carry. Richard Young got a couple of carries. But he's young. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Rushing attempts look great. Defense look great. We'll see what happens when you play big boy. They got to play USF next, and then Wisconsin before they get into conference play. So we'll see how Alabama and Auburn hold up the rest of the season. Now, I did this stat yesterday. I was kind of looking at all these little stats. In week 1, now we don't have week 0. We didn't have some of the teams added. Week 1 points scored. All right. Let me see, 27 and 20 so I can remember. The SEC this past weekend scored 644 points. They gave up 129. So if you add LSU's score, you add 20 to that, right? I have it. You add 20 to that. So they scored 664 points in the SEC. They gave up, what's 129 plus 27? What is that, 146? 156? 156? They gave up 156. FYI, Sea of Thieves is being installed. You'll have to play with us sometime. Does it say Sea of Thieves on Twitch? I put it on sports. UW almost lost to Western Michigan because UW doesn't have Kalen DeBoer anymore. Talking about Wisconsin? Or Big Ten. 27 plus 564. What is that? I'm not great with math. Anybody got a math? Anybody got a calculator? We got a calculator right here. 571. No, that's not right. I put 7. 591. Big Ten scored 591. Add 20 from USC. That's 155. Damn. 155. But look at all that offense by the SEC. 1 point more given up than the Big Ten. But the Big Ten didn't give up a whole lot of points this week. But they didn't score a whole lot either. But 1 point's 1 point. Like the SEC, still defense. Big Ten, still defense. 2 best conferences in the league. Let's look at the Big 12. 629 for, 282 against. No defense, per usual. Against some bad teams, too. Talk about cupcake games. You're over here in Colorado giving up 20 to North Dakota State. I got that, too. Squirrel. What is that? Never mind. ACC, still got BC and FSU playing each other tonight. Take it for what you want. Those are the same teams. 540 to 264. So SEC and Big Ten are still king. First week, giving up scoring the most points, giving up the least amount of points. Granted, by like 100. Like 100. That SEC is just dominating. Granted, played a lot of cupcake games. Everybody was playing cupcake games this weekend. I didn't notify you? I posted it on Twitter and Facebook. We're Facebook friends, aren't we? We were talking about Oklahoma sucking. We were talking about that big win against Temple on Friday. Oh, well, next time I will post it in the Discord server. I apologize. They unalived Temple. They were up 34-0 in halftime. Did they call for 10-minute quarters in the second half like Alabama A&M did? Oh, damn, I appreciate that. Well, that's weird, though, because I put it on YouTube and Twitch. And by the way, 800 wins for Auburn. They're like only like 12 or 13 teams in total that have 800 wins as a program. It's Temple, though. See? It's Temple, though. This guy knows what he's talking about. It's like OSU playing Akron. Yeah. It's like Ohio State playing Akron. Yeah. He's not right. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. How we feel about this week, though? How'd your fantasy drafts come out? I just got done with another one. How we feeling about this week of big boy football? We'll get into some previews and matchups later on in the week for college football. But how are we feeling about the NFL, boys? How are we feeling about this? We getting ready for some big boy football? Some NFL football? We don't have to hear about how great the WNBA is anymore. We don't have to hear about how the NWSL is on TV anymore. We don't have to hear about sports we don't care about anymore, or players, or Deion Sanders anymore. I mean, we'll still hear about Deion Sanders. Gonna watch Arthur Smith roll all over ATL. That was a bold prediction on Get Up today, too, by the way. That they were going to win the game, and they were going to give Arthur Smith the game ball. You seen Arthur Smith? You seen what this man can do? Have you seen what this man can't do? You really want to throw all your chips on Arthur Smith, buddy? Now, granted, you have one of the greatest head coaches ever. Exactly. Never bet against Tomlin. First game. See, the Falcons can lose this game, though. They could. But they won't. I hate you. They won't. This is not a biased show, okay? We're giving real takes here. Not just who we love. Is our equipment working, by the way? Hold on. Are we on? I'm not going to tap that. Are we on? Is everything working? Hello? McFly? We know how to use the equipment. Sorry, I apologize. They will. Shut up, Saints fan. Get him out of here. Compared to Canada, Matt Canada, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, I'll take current setup all day. I bet you will. Gonna hang out with Dangerous, be all weird, and eat some Subway sandwiches together? You gonna fumble the ball 80 million times because Justin Fields ain't that guy? You ain't that guy, pal. You ain't that guy. How about this Thursday night matchup in just a few days? 3 days. Hi, Homa. What Russ is very weird. Dangerous. Dude, that dude is weird. I blame his wife. Ever since he got with her, it's like Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was cool and fun. Now he's weird and just not original. And he wears like the weirdest clothing because his wife is a celebrity actress, and like he has to like apparently fit this persona of just being Hollyweird. You know what I mean? Now I don't care like what his son wants to be and all that kind of stuff. Like, you do you. But like, you're not, when you get put on NBA on TNT or whatever, you're not funny. You're not even really good at being an announcer. Like, this is the reason why I never want the TNT broadcast to go away with who they have, because they're funny, they're original, they can literally talk about the game and it be entertaining. Like, so when Russell Wilson becomes a announcer or whatever, like Tom Brady, get ready to plug your ears in. Baker Mayfield has really revitalized his career. I don't think he wanted to be with the Rams. And I think that the Browns really did fuck him. I mean, he had so many bad coaches. And really, it's just a bad franchise in general. He had to deal with so many hotheads in that place. Now that he's at Tampa and he can just kind of play free and just do whatever. I think also he did it to himself, too. Those commercials were getting out of hand. I think when you start seeing players that do too many commercials, it's just too much. Except for like Patrick Mahomes, apparently, because he's friends with the State Farm guy. By the way, where the hell did the State Farm guy come from? That dude's a celebrity now. He's at basketball games. He's at football games. He's all over the place. And all he is a TV actor. He ain't even been in a movie. But apparently he's just as popular as everybody else, hanging out with all the comedians and hanging out with all the professional athletes and celebrities and everything like that. It's Jake from State Farm. Not my Jake from State Farm. I like the original dude. He was funny. Funny and original. Just be funny and original. Right funny. That's why the Acolyte, what is it called? Star Wars. Stop writing stupid Star Wars movies and shows. Ring of Power, ass. Quit writing stupid shows that don't make sense. Make them funny and original. Bring back Courage the Cowardly Dog. Don't remake movies like Heavyweights. Remember the movie Heavyweights? They couldn't remake that today. Everybody get offended by it. Body shaming and all that jazz. I don't even think you can make Dodgeball anymore. You can't make it. You can't make anybody comedy anymore. You couldn't make anybody comedy anymore. None of them. By the way, Homa, you did a great job drafting last night. You did better than somebody else did. I think Billy has 4 wide receivers that are all in week 12. So you didn't pull that. Now he's going to have to find 2 wide receivers that are he's going to have to trade. We got people over here trying to fleece him, by the way. Tell me how your fantasy draft did today. I'll show you mine in just a second. But we're going to go through this real quick. Ravens and Chiefs, who you got, everybody? Chiefs at -3. I'll take the Ravens. Not to win, but the points. Yeah, because you're playing today in the Dynasty League. That's why. I needed somebody in there. The Swifties. The Swifties. Gonna take the Swifties? I'm gonna take the Ravens, like HD Engineering saying. The Packers. Friday night. Packers and Eagles. I'm taking Packers. That's a nice spread, too. -2.5. They can win by a field goal. Give me the Packers to win. How about this matchup? Steelers and Falcons. Go Dirty Birds, baby. Maybe not to cover. Younghoe Koo field goal to win the game. Okay? But they win by 1.5. Or 1. Because neither team apparently can find offense again. They're terrible against the run. So if well, last year they played really well. It's the running back. They're not bad against the run. They're bad against passing, and passing to the running back. So if the Steelers can have any kind of like throwing out of the backfield, like coming out of the back, like throwing out of the backfield, do not come. Then I still think that the Falcons have a chance. Broncos and Seahawks, give me Bo Nix and those damn Broncos, baby. Cardinals and Bills, I got a lot of Cards fans in here. I think the Bills are going to win against the Cardinals. Titans and Bears, give me the Titans. I still don't. You know what was crazy? Marcus Spears on ESPN said that Caleb Williams is going to have 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Titans. I don't believe in Caleb Williams. But that's just me. Patriots and Bengals. Give me the Bengals at home. Jamar Chase might play. I don't know. They need to pay that man because I need him in fantasy. Texans and Colts. Give me the Texans. Jaguars and Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins because the Jags are crap. Trevor Lawrence is crap. Mac Jones will be the starter. Week 8 or week 9. What do we say? Week 10 for the Jags. Panthers and Saints. Give me the Saints at home. Vikings and Giants. Give me the Vikings because I think that the Giants might be the worst team in college football, in the NFL. This is the battle right here, and it's the first game of the season. This is the battle right here, the Vikings and Giants, for the number 1 pick. The Raiders and Chargers. Give me the Chargers. Go, Chargers, go. Browns and Cowboys. Which team is worse? Like, honestly, everyone. Which team is worse? The Cowboys or the Browns? Exactly. Baker for sure. Bucks for sure. Baker again is going to be planting flags and asses. Well, I think... where is it at? Oh, it's at there. Yeah, they got grass. So he's going to plant a flag in his own field. Because if he plays at the Commanders, they have a trashy-ass field, and he might break his ankle if he does that. He'll, like, plant the flag, and then he'll have, like, the Alex Smith injury. Or the Joe Theismann injury. Both of those, by the way, happened at the same spot. The same exact spot. That field is cursed. Give me the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. Give me them cowgirls. Woo-wee! I used to watch a funny comedian that used to make fun of all the mascots. Buccaneers beat the Commanders. I still think Jane Daniels is going to have a really good game against them, though. Rams and Lions. Give me the Lions. Everybody wants to play here. You signed 2 wide receivers. One had a torn Achilles and a torn ACL in the last 2 years. The other one has not been a number 1 wide receiver ever since he's been in the league. And Allen Robinson. Maybe because he played for the Jags and like a little bit. Couple of seasons. But you signed Allen Robinson's old ass and Tim Patrick, who's been on 4 different teams and has torn more ligaments than I have ever. Anyone has ever. And you're going to say, people want to come here. People want to play for Detroit. It's still Detroit. Nobody wants to go to Detroit. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. Ain't no reason. But give me the Lions to beat the Rams, even though I think Matthew Stafford might play really well. They still got a great receiving core. I don't know so much about their running game. And then the Jets and 49ers, because we got to have the Jets and 49ers on Monday night. Give me the 49ers to win. Aaron Rodgers still makes it a game because he actually plays the entire game and doesn't get hurt four plays in. He'll be boofing so many drugs. That's true. He's probably did some hibiscus. What is it called? Hiawatha? Something like that. Hiawatha. All right, we're going to finish it up with On This Day in History. Appreciate everybody being here. Let's see here. Here's some good ones. Here's some really good ones today. In 31 BC, the Battle of Actium. Thank you, Homa. Thank you for being here. In 31 BC, the Battle of Actium, decisive naval battle that effectively ends the Roman Republic. Octavian's forces defeat those under Mark Antony and Cleopatra off the western coast of Greece. That happened today. In 1192, Sultan Saladin and King Richard the Lionheart of England signed the Treaty of Jaffa, ending the Third Crusade in a compromise neither is happy with. Treaty leaves Jerusalem under Islamic control with Christian pilgrimage rights and restores the Kingdom of Jerusalem. You know, if they had just, like, settled their differences, Saladin and Richard the Lionheart really, like respected the hell out of each other. Like, and Saladin, like, respected the hell out of Baldwin IV. But the fact that, like, he allowed Christians to, like, do what they were able to do and be able to, like, still pilgrim to the city, and he allowed pilgrims to and women and children to get out when Baldwin IV had that douchebag running around killing everybody along the road and everything like that, when the Islamic people were just trying to, like kids, women, children, all that stuff, just trying to get somewhere, and he was going around doing all these raids, killing people. Like, realistically, like, both sides just needed to cut their shit and stop fucking around. Because that was like every time England was fighting somebody, England had to go out there and do a crusade. But then, like, 2 minutes later, they'd be like, all right, we got to go fight France again. But yet, they were all fighting with each other a year ago. Like, all these nations didn't make sense back in the day. They were just fighting to fight. They just say something, and then everybody just go fight for, like, no reason. And people be like, oh, no, it's my land. 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 I think that's pretty much how conquest is, right? Like, just go and take somebody's things for your own. And then you assimilate those people and do all that kind of stuff and blah, blah, blah. In 1666, you remember that year? The Great Fire of London begins at 2 a.m. in Pudding Lane. 80% of London is destroyed. Could you imagine all the great, like, buildings? Not just London. There's some in America, too. Like the courthouse in my city is burned down twice. And the original courthouse was beautiful. But you have all these, like, because they were made out of wood or they were made out of something that was highly flammable. You know, whatever. Like, all these great cities and all these buildings that once were, and they just burnt down. Imagine what you could see today. Be cool. In 1792, September massacres of the French Revolution in Paris, rampaging mobs slaughter 3 Roman Catholic bishops, more than 200 priests and prisoners believed to be royal sympathizers. In 1864, remember that year? Union General William Tecumseh Sherman captures and occupies Atlanta, Georgia, ending the Atlanta Campaign in the U.S. Civil War. That's pretty cool. You don't really see that every day. Let's see, today in sports, do we have anything that is remotely even fun to talk about? A lot of PGA stuff. 1946 American golfer Ben Hogan. I got a couple of them shirts. You were there? I was there. In 1946, American Ben Hogan wins the Golden State Open at California Country Club in Los Angeles, his 3rd consecutive PGA event and 11th title of the season. Second time that year, he wins 3 straight tournaments. In 1940, PGA Championship Men's Golf Hershey Byron Nelson wins his first PGA Championship, beating Sam Snead 1-up in the Monday 36-hole final. 36-hole final. God. They couldn't play that today. They'd be dying. Baseball record in 1962, St. Louis first baseman Stan Musial records his 3,516th hit, and the Cards' 4-3 loss to New York Mets overtakes Treese Speaker in the second place behind Ty Cobb on the MLB all-time list. 1965, Chicago Cubs slugger Ernie Banks hits his MLB 400th career home run off Curt Simmons in a 5-3 win over the St. Louis Cardinals at Wrigley Field. Simmons also gave up Willie Mays' 400th home run in 1963. That's pretty cool. NFL history: 1966, Joe Arrow returns the opening kickoff 95 yards for a Miami touchdown in the Dolphins' first ever NFL regular season game. Oakland Raiders go on to win 23-14 at the Orange Bowl before 26,000 fans. 26,000 fans. And I guess John Madden, I think, was the coach of the Raiders at the time. 1973, Billy Martin is fired as Detroit Tigers manager due to continual differences in the front office. Goes on to manage Texas, Oakland, and Yankees in 5 separate stints. 1978, Yankees right fielder Reggie Jackson hits his 20th home run of the season in a 6-2 win over the Seattle. 19th MLB player to hit 20 home runs in 11 straight years. I got a lot of cricket history, like we care. All right. Get on to some birthdays, and we're going to get out of here. See if there's anybody that we know. Peter Ueberroth, 1937 American organizer of the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics and commissioner of baseball from 84 to 89. He was born today, his 87th birthday in Evanston, Illinois. Jimmy Connors is 72nd birthday in 1952. He was born today. American tennis player, 8-time Grand Slam winner, 109 titles overall. Born in Belleville, Illinois. Eric Dickerson is 64 today. He was born in 1960. Pro Football Hall of Fame running back, NFL single season rushing, 2,105 yards, 1984 Pro Bowl, 1983. He was the Pro Bowl in 1983, 84, 86, 89, 86 through 89 in the LA Rams. He was born in Sealy, Texas. Lennox Lewis is 59 today. 1965, British-Canadian boxer, Olympic gold, super heavyweight 1988, undisputed world heavyweight champion 1999. He was born in London, England. Anybody else that we know? Tommy Maddox, 1971, NFL quarterback for the Giants. Anybody else? Really, there's no crazy names out here that you would probably know and that I would know. So, yeah. All right. Appreciate everybody being here, as always. Thank you so much for joining the chat. Thank you so much for being constant support. Yes, we only went an hour and a half today, but we've got a couple of things we got to do today, and actually I'm supposed to be over there, like, right now. So thank you so much for always constantly supporting the channel. Thank you so much for everyone being here. Captain Yorkie, Homa, HG Engineering, I know who you are. Aaron, let's see, who else was here today? Dirty Birds. Who else was all here today? Captain Yorkie, I said that. The Harkness. Who else was here today? Did I miss anybody today? I think James Buchanan or JP was here. Maybe they were here last night. Matthew Rosenbaum for being here. That is Those Beans, if anyone knows who that guy is. I think that was it. Yeah, thank you so much for supporting the channel. You want to support the channel in any way, hit up the Cash App, $sign Coach Grizzle, Venmo, @Mass Braves. If you want to support the channel, donate there. But if not, go out, serve your time, go help your Greater Humane Society. You know, go help out someone in need and that very much needs it. Constantly go out and just do something more than yourself. Help some other people out there that might be in need for sure. And just enjoy yourself. Go out and just enjoy what you're doing in life. Like doing a podcast. Just do that. We've done number 61 on the list, and I couldn't be happier because of you guys. Even if there was nobody in here, I'd still be doing it just the same. We'd still be having fun. We'd still be talking about whatever we want to talk about because it's our stream. So everyone have a good rest of your day. I'm out of here. Enjoy the Labor Day. Let's get this short week over with. And we'll be back tomorrow sometime in the afternoon, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. If not, we'll be back Wednesday. I have to work Friday night, so we probably won't do one on Friday night, but we're going to try to get some previews in for some college football season on week 2. We've already previewed the NFL games, but we'll still talk some of that. We'll probably talk some fantasy as well. And I didn't even get into my fantasy draft, which is fine. But thank you so much. We're going to get out of here. Go a little early. Everyone have a good day. Everyone have a good rest of their day. Thanks.
I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, he's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out. And
He's steaming mad.
he is out.
Swung, fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes, yes, yes. The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship.
Auburn going after it. Here's a good snap. It is blocked. It is blocked. It's caught on the run. It's caught on the run. He's going to score. David Wagner. David Wagner has scored. And Auburn is tied the game.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Van Tippen has won the ball game. Alabama has beaten Auburn.
I'd like for the people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been that winner.